We're living in a land down under.
Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's start this. Two on the podcast, episode 3. That's right, episode 3. You're here listening to me, Lee, with my friend Matt.
What's going on, guys? Third one going. We're on a roll.
God, I felt like such a pansy when I said in the last episode, oh yeah, here's my best friend Matt. I was like, geez, I sound like in a Disney club or whatever. I was like, oh my God, I'm not saying that again.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's hilarious. No, brother. I mean, look, we live in a world where, we're told that we can't express ourselves. And I think that's the reason, I think that's a lot of the world's problems, is because we're told we can't express ourselves. Do you know what I mean? So you say whatever you want to say, man.
That's really, before we start here, I just want to say, my condolences and heart goes out to Nigeria with what's happening over there.
Yeah.
Really, really sad, really, really bad. And, that needs to get fixed ASAP because so many innocent people are dying. So my heart and condolences goes out to them. Like, it's a sad what's
Yeah, man.
seeing on the social medias and how humans can do that to other humans. Like, it's just mad. Like, I saw a video of people protesting, singing, I think, the national anthem or something, and just getting gunned down. And it's like,
Yeah, man.
I don't understand, how do you go home and after doing something like that, like shooting down innocent people and feel like it's okay? Like, yeah, that's all right. And
It's
then
true,
to
isn't
go
it?
back out there and do that, it's mad. It don't make sense or whatever. So, yeah, my heart goes out to them, man. Like, seriously, seriously.
Yeah, man. We're thinking of everybody there. We're thinking of everybody who's got family there. We're thinking about anybody who's from there. Um, you know, I am actually half Nigerian, so seeing that and knowing that, I'm connected to that in some
Hmm.
way, it's not a nice feeling, man. And then you kind of sort of comes. That sort of comes in the wake of everything that's been going on in the last year. I mean, I know SARS has sort of operated for a long time, and
Yeah.
although their sort of oppression has, kind of remained out of the spotlight, and it's not a new occurrence, the fact that the world is now seeing it or paying attention, if you like, um, is hopefully a good thing, and it will start a pathway to getting rid of such an oppressive system. And, I just hope that no more lives are lost and that, you know, the ones that are lost, we pray for them. And we just hope that things will start to get better and things will start to be corrected from here on out. So, yeah,
Yeah. I
that's
think
what
social media, this is what we need social media for, where to shine a light on this, because they need to, like, the people doing this needs to be held accountable. And you know it's sad, like, when you go on social media whenever, and then you're seeing this is what happening to your, like, brothers and sisters, like, just humans in general. Like, this is like how, like, I don't, it's even hard to, like, bring it to words. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like,
Mm.
we're we're,
I
we're, we're
think,
we're supposed to be so evolved and stuff like that. I have such, like, we're supposed to have such, like, from cavemen to whatever, we're supposed to be, so far advanced, but we're acting like savages and animals, where you can pick up a gun and aim it at someone and shoot them or whatever, because of the power that you're in, and because you feel like you can rightly do so. Like,
mm,
yeah, it's sad. It's actually despicable.
it is terrible, man. It is. It really, really is.
On a lighter note, getting into films, are you excited to see a new version of Suicide Squad?
So, what are we talking about? This James Gunn version, yeah?
No, no, no. Oh, sorry, no, no, no. We're talking about the David Ayer version.
David Ayer version?
Yeah, so the first Suicide Squad film, and he kept
Yeah.
talking about, oh, there's a cut that they didn't release. There's my cut.
Oh, right. So I'm jumping ahead of myself. What is there a new cut coming out or something?
Well, David Ayer has just seen
Yeah.
his cut of Suicide Squad, and he says it is fire. He says in a tweet, "I took the hits like a good soldier. When the studio cut hit the streets, it's who I am. I watched my cut for the first time since it was abandoned. It is fucking amazing. On God."
Oh, I mean,
No, wait.
um,
Wait, hold on. It is fucking amazing. On God, that line is cracking me up. Oh my, he sounds
yeah,
like
bruh.
I don't know, man. He sounds like one of those people like for the streets, like on God, no, like on God in them or whatever. Oh, anyways,
Director's cuts. Yeah, I mean, how the material that was in there to start with was what we got. I can't imagine what else could be added to that to make that salvageable, if that makes sense. So
hmm
with the Justice League thing coming, I think we spoke about it in the first episode, the Snyder cut. I mean, I'm not that optimistic of it being life changing or dramatically different to what we already got. I mean, I don't know how much of a difference these things make. Um, so whilst I kind of welcome the fact that there's a different cut, and I understand that sacrifices have to be made in films to kind of get under the runtime or to be to stay under budget or on budget. I don't know how much that takes away from the material that already exists. So I just don't know if that's gonna be anything innovative. I don't know whether it's gonna be interesting enough to really say it's any different. So I don't know, man.
I
What do
remember
you
a
think?
long time ago, someone told me, "Oh, Lee, watch the Daredevil director's cut. Is much better than the studio version." And I think
Right.
the director's cut for Daredevil was like 3 hours long, some nonsense like that.
Okay.
I, I, I literally turned it off after like an hour in. I was like, for something, even telling me that a 3 hour version needs to tell me like this is better than a 1 hour version, whatever. When, like you said, I'm basically seeing bits of the elements in the first film, whatever, but it's just extended. A shit film's a shit film.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, that's unless there's like literally a lot of scenes that's been ripped out. But if you're telling me there's
Yeah.
25, if you're telling me there's like 15 minutes of extra scene in there, that doesn't like
Yeah. I
distract me
think
from the other however long whatever minutes of a shit film there is that I've already seen.
exactly. I think when it comes to sort of film editing and when scenes end up on the cutting room floor, um, if a film, a studio film, there are some scenes that don't make sense, and actually with the addition of those clips, it makes sense, then
Mhm.
that's fair enough. But that doesn't automatically make a film a bad film, a good film. It just means that whatever was taken out makes sense now because that stuff has been put back in. It doesn't make it a better film. So yeah, I wonder whether that could be. I mean, I don't know. I can't really remember that film off the top of my head, but I mean, I don't know whether. I mean, I don't know if the film made sense completely, but I think that's the only thing that could really salvage it if there were some sort of scenes or missing narratives that we missed
Yeah.
due to studio cuts that makes the film make a little bit more sense. I don't know whether it'll make it a better, enjoyable film. I don't know about that.
Zack Snyder's Justice League recut film turned out to be good, makes a crap load of money, and then Warner Brothers then releases David Ayer's Suicide Squad film. I don't know if Warner Brothers are realizing that they're shooting themselves in the foot because people are gonna look at them and be like, "You lot don't make the best judgments. You already got your little kind of like beef going on with the guy who plays Cyborg, Ray Fisher, about the misconduct that's happening there, whatever." And then now you've got Zack Snyder's Suicide Cut. I mean, what do you call it? Justice League cut film, along with David Ayer's cut as well, and they both do good. I think Warner Brothers is going to go for another reshuffle because it clearly shows that at the top they're not making the best decisions.
I mean, I know there's like a long-standing history between studios and directors in terms of sort of creative conflicts and everything, but you know, this whole sort of romanticization of the Snyder cut and the Ayers cut, like they weren't around during the editing process and signed off on these things. So I feel like I don't know, man. I just feel like it's maybe a little bit of an exaggeration of what actually happened. So I feel like at the end of the day, they did say that they were happy to have their names on these films. You know what I'm trying to say? So I don't know how much or how much of a percentage of those films have actually got them in it, if that makes sense. So how much of the studio's involvement actually showed up in the films that we got. So with what film was I going to mention? Oh shit, I forgot what film I was going to mention. The film. Oh, so like, okay, sorry. No, I was going to mention a few films. So we've seen in the past with directors leaving projects because they don't agree with what a studio says. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we saw Danny Boyle leave James Bond recently. We saw who was it?
Right.
Was it not Ron Howard? It was those brothers who left the Star Wars Han Solo project. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, how much of your integrity as a filmmaker is, you know, compromised if you're saying I'm going to put my name on these films? You know what I'm trying to say? So I don't know whether after the fact that all of these films have been slammed, and I understand that studios do get involved. Like I work with clients, and I know that a lot of these studios, these clients, and people like these studios get involved in the body of work. But actually, at the end of the day, you can push back on certain things. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't, and if you actually believe in those things, then you just have to walk away. You know what I mean? It might be easier said than done because obviously there's a lot of things that come with that blacklisting and sort of these sort of cloak and dagger tactics that studio use. But directors have done it in the past and they have thrived. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I don't know, man. This whole sort of like the Snyder cut and the Ayers cut is, I think, it's just almost sort of like some sort of remedy to kind of get over the fact that they put out a bad film. But I'm being a bit harsh. I understand that. I'm being a bit harsh, but you know, we'll see. I think the proof is in the pudding. Once the Snyder cut comes out, if it's remotely different to what we got, then I'll have to eat my words. But we'll see, won't we?
An original drama is being made exclusively for Spotify, and it's being executive produced by David S. Goyer. He's the guy who wrote Dark Knight. I think he wrote the Batman films. I don't know if he wrote Dark Knight Rises.
He wrote a few films,
Anyway,
hasn't he?
he's executive producing a new Batman kind of story for Spotify called Batman Unburied, the darker aspects of Bruce Wayne's Batman psychology. So I'm really interested in that. That'll be coming out in 2021.
Darker aspects of Batman's psychology. Aren't all of them like that? Don't they always say that when they announce the new Batman project?
Yeah, they do.
So just know
But the thing is, though, what makes me interested in this is, I don't know if did you play the Batman Arkham games?
I remember banging out the first one. I really liked the second one. I never touched the last one. I don't think the third one. But the first two I definitely did. Yeah.
What I really liked about those games was when you could collect the tapes to hear the interview conversation.
Oh yeah.
They had. So I'm quite interested to hear what they do with this one, because I really like that aspect of the game. Also Barry Jenkins, remember Barry Jenkins?
Barry Jenkins, who's that again?
The guy who directed Moonlight.
Oh yeah. Barry Jenkins.
He is directing a live action sequel to The Lion King. Apparently, we're going to see Mufasa's origin story through flashbacks.
I did hear this. I think I did see news about a Lion King sequel, and I saw that actually people really didn't want that.
I just felt like I was watching a National Geographic documentary about lions that could talk. For the most part, it just didn't offer anything new to me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think we might have spoken about this on the first one, or maybe before, just in sort of private. But I feel like, you know what? I mean, the Lion King, the John Favreau one, it was John Favreau, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. It doesn't offer anything new in terms of narrative or emotion. But you know, look, I don't. I think the fact that it exists, it doesn't take away from what went before. And you know what? It's an opportunity to kind of maybe see something a little bit different on screen in terms of how CGI capabilities can go, how far they can go in terms of reality. And actually, maybe what would have been a bit more interesting is if they had done this whole Mufasa thing before they did The Lion King, or at all.
If this sequel acted as the prequel to the Lion King film, then I think
it might have been a bit different.
I don't think it was made for someone like me. I think it's made to attract the new age people that don't know about the Lion King.
The original Lion King, I'm sorry, man, but you failed as a parent, to be honest. Because because that shit there is classic, and I don't just say that as somebody who grew up with it and loves it. But you get your kid to watch The Lion King, man. Don't show them the 2019 one. You know, that ain't it, man.
This is where it came from. This is what we would watch.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with that film, and the fact that it exists. I mean, it's just a pretty. I don't think there's any point of it, if that makes sense. You know, I'm not angry that it exists, but I don't think there's a point. I don't think there's any point that it exists. It's just literally a not as good copy of the first one of all the original. So, yeah, try again, Disney.
I know you're upset about James Bond being delayed, but
Very upset.
I'm flipping upset about June being delayed. I really want to watch June.
Oh, is June delayed? I hadn't heard the news.
Yeah, that's delayed till apparently will be coming till next year, October.
That's a long time. That's a year, isn't it? That's a whole year. But look, listen, man, it makes sense. I think I watched an interview with Daniel Craig talking about No Time to Die. And you know, he was saying that basically, look, they wanted to release the film at the same time worldwide, so people can just experience it at the same time. And not just that, it's like, you know, for us here in London, we're kind of going through an uncertainty period where this whole virus could get a lot worse. And I think actually what the smartest thing to do is to kind of reduce risk and to reduce, you know, fear, is to push these films back. So although it's annoying that you know, these films are being delayed, yeah, it's just not the right time, man. It's not safe. It's people are not thinking about going to cinema.
If they like, if cinema studios were trying to like push all their films out, people are breaking those lockdown rules and run to the cinema. Then as a studio, you got to sit there and think, shit, what if, you know, the coronavirus spikes up and it's because of this? You don't want that attached to your name or to your film or whatever. Yeah. And even though like it obviously is shit now that we can't watch films, but there's a much bigger threat, and that threat is the coronavirus, and we have to be smart about it and be like, look, we just need to put our bums down or whatever. Just be like, cool, let's get through this so that we can actually enjoy next year.
But I mean, I reckon that the studios, man, they're more worried about people not going. Like, they don't want their films to underperform. You know what I mean? They don't want to lose money, which is why.
In Japan, they bloody released an anime film called Demon Slayer. Really good anime.
Yep.
If you ain't seen it, really watch it. It's really good. So they released a film, and apparently it's just dominating the cinema over there. Like, it made
right.
How much did it made? It made some stupid money. And Japan's Demon Slayer kills it with records $44 million opening. Like, that's mad for an anime film, especially during this crazy times.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. I think
this is a stunning debut. Which we hear commanded 84% of the market, with exit at 4.5 out of 5 stars. And putting the opening into some perspective, Frozen 2 last year launched to a free date of 18.2. I'm reading this from Deadline. I'm like, wow, like, this is mad.
Yeah, that's crazy. I reckon it's like, you know, the film industry over there is obviously very different to how or the way it's marketed, or the way certain films are marketed over there are obviously a lot different to how we market stuff over here. And I guess the anime is definitely a bit more integral to their culture than it is over here. So having that film open over here probably wouldn't do the same at all, just because of limited runs. I think when an anime film comes out over here, we get like about 2 days maybe to watch it, or a week if at best, before it's never seen again in the cinema. So yeah, I reckon their whole setup in terms of sort of anime films is set up differently. So they
I would really be interested to see how an anime film of that scale does over here, because I remember when Demon Slayer first came out and I was watching it on Crunchyroll, I was just watching it thinking, I didn't know how big Demon Slayer was until one day it came up on my Google News that everybody's talking about like the last episode of Demon Slayer, and it was a thing where it was trending on Twitter to even people who don't even watch anime. I was like, oh, is this like, I've never seen anything spoke about this in such high volume since something like Dragon Ball Z or something like that, where everybody, that's people that you wouldn't even consider anime fans, are watching this. So
when they put out the sort of anime films, I think last year or the year before, there was like an anime film like every month, like from what I remember. So you had like Your Name, and you had a few others. And is it Your Name?
Yeah.
Your Name, and they're like out on a Wednesday and a Thursday. They're never seen again, and it's like I have to make sure that I'm free for those 2 days. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to see it in cinema. And the best way to see films is in the cinema, man. So, yeah, it would be interesting to see how. Well, I mean, what would happen after? Will they be putting those films in the cinema after coronavirus? Do you think, like, or will they spend the money on getting those films licensed into cinemas, UK cinemas? You
I
know,
think, I think I feel like studios will try quickly to try get a license to get on platforms to try and prevent the
but
whole.
this is the thing, yeah. So I think even with like Hollywood movie studios, I definitely know that there's like a Cobra style meeting of the chain heads, the cinema chain heads that are looking at a way. Sorry, not cinema chain heads, movie studio chain heads. It's already happening
Mm,
where they get new releases into at home, because especially from a UK perspective, we don't know what's going to happen in terms of the coronavirus, and how before things sort of get back to normal. And like I said in the last episode, like it's going to take about 5 years till we resemble until it resembles until the film industry resembles anything that we know previously. So I think they're going to be working hard to try and find an alternative to that still makes money, but ensures people are watching it, that the maximum amount of people are watching their films. So yeah, man, I think it's going to reshape how we consume but it can't be like a Mulan way. I think that Mulan thing, man, was a total flop. Yeah, man, they can't do that. They can't ask people to be paying that money again. I mean, it's not a lot, but come on, man, we're already paying for the streaming service. So find a way, find a halfway point for us to meet you, man, instead of paying full
that's what
whack
annoyed
for.
my head. It's like we pay for a set. I'm paying for a service here, but now you want to pay extra to unlock something on the service that I'm already paying for. And then I'm
Yeah,
thinking, yeah, like, do you understand these are crazy times, and you're trying to get more money
this is
out of
it.
it, whatever.
This is
Like,
it. And do you know what? It's like the price for that wasn't even the same price if you went to the cinema to go and
oh
buy it,
yeah,
go and watch it. So
I know,
they definitely flopped
I'm
there.
not being funny yet, but from what I've seen, yeah, and from what I've heard about this Mulan film, whatever, the graphics in it, whatever, like it wasn't even up to
Oh
par.
yeah.
Wasn't even up to
Yeah, I
par.
heard this.
Like it makes sense.
Yeah, man. Flipping. I reckon what they did when it came to that pricing is that they said, look, this is how much we're going to lose because obviously the coronavirus has happened. How much can we sell this film for to soften the blow of our loss? They'll
That's
still lose
100%.
money.
That's 100%
Do,
what they
do,
did.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that they can't be they from now they have to look at it like, well, look, we know people are not going to go to the cinema, or they've been told not to go to the cinema. How can we, you know, get the money back without putting on a big price tag? Because we can see right through that when we get a film that is costing £20 or more than it costs to go to the cinema. That don't make no sense. So they definitely sort that out if they're ever going to try and rescue the film industry as we know it.
Yeah. Also, apparently, rumor, a Disney stakeholder is pushing for blockbusters like Black Widow to be released on Disney Plus.
Makes sense. It does make sense. It's like what we're talking about. It's what we're
Yeah.
talking about. They need to find a way to sell to put these films on the platforms and sell them, because I don't think there's anything wrong with selling the film. If it was like you go on Amazon Prime and you see a film on there for 2.99, 3.99, 4.99, maybe even up to 9.99, and you might buy it. They they need to find a way that sells the film and makes it feel worth it for the buyer, because we're already paying for the streaming service. We shouldn't have to pay over and beyond for something that we wouldn't pay at the cinema. So I haven't got an issue with them putting it on Disney Plus.
I will
I do
say,
feel,
I will say that if, obviously in our last episode, our last issue, we talked about the death of cinema. If Black Widow releases on what do you call it, on Disney Plus, cinemas are going to be fuming because they need films like that to get bums on the seats, wherever. But
yeah,
what Disney's doing, they're cutting them out. So we own it. We take all of it. You get nothing. So and if we see if Black Widow gets released on Disney Plus and does some amazing numbers or whatever, other studios are gonna look at that and think, well, what if we do the same with our big films, or whatever? And then
yeah,
again, it goes, well, what happens to cinemas? But at the same time, it's like these films need to these films need to sell, and IP is everything. If you own the IP, you're laughing. So it's interesting to see where Black Widow goes. I see, like,
yeah.
it's interesting.
I think just touching on the sort of cinemas and stuff. I think cinemas have kind of emerged from you know uncertainty before. So in World War II, man, they closed obviously because of fear of bombings. Mass crowds going to a cinema, bomb drops on it. That's it. The mass casualties. You know what I'm saying? So they've had to close it. They've suffered from. They've emerged from dark times before, and I think it's just something that they'll just have to adapt to. I think the way the technology is going and accelerating, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. And this event now that we're experiencing worldwide is just a catalyst for that potentially. So all it takes is just these people to think in a creative way, man. I mean, these people are basically in the imagination business. Yeah, they sell films, they sell dreams, and they sell escapism. Um, what they need to do is take off the business cap off and think about how can we now adapt to a world that is not only technologically advancing but is also in fear of a biological um, virus. How can we adapt and how can we change the experience so that we can exist in it? And that's up to them. They've chosen that business. They have to find a way to survive it. And like I say, take the business cap off and think about actually how can we do this creatively and how can we be imaginative about surviving something like this. So yeah, man, I think it's just that's what they've got to do.
100%. But I want to notice in flipping every single episode so far, it's like my go-to word is 100%. Oh, need to cut that. Need to cut that.
100%, man. I love it. It's keep it. Keep it. We can start making t-shirts of it if we have to.
Oh, big news. Our boy Daniel Kalula
Mm,
confessed he's producing a darker live-action version of Barney and Friends.
Barney and Friends. Why?
I don't know.
But
But
like I said, man, I think we're in
I'm
the imagination business. Just do it. Just go for it. Innit? If it flops, it flops. If it works, it works. So yeah, why not? Why
I'm
not?
interested to see that. Oh, apparently Daniel Kalula explained the reason why he's doing this is because
Oh,
Barney told
okay.
us, I love you, you love me. Won't you say you love me too? God, that sounds dark already. That's one of the first songs I remember. And what happens when that isn't true? Oh my, yo, I'm sold. I am sold.
Yeah. I
What
mean, it doesn't sound like it sounds like Barney doesn't have to be the main character for that, but
that sounds like life. I feel like he's just explained life.
yeah, for
I
real.
love you, you love me. Won't you say you love me too? But what happens when that's not true? That's life.
Yeah, man.
I'm
100%. I
I'm
totally agree.
I'm here for that. What else is on the agenda? Oh, Michael B. Jordan is set to
Mm.
produce a Static Shock film.
Yep.
That's another DC property. Um, I like Static Shock. I like Static Shock the cartoon. That was an amazing cartoon, and I know that I think Static Shock was briefly appeared in Young Justice. Um, another DC cartoon. really, really good. I think it was in DC. I
Yeah.
think it was in Young Justice. I think it was called Outlaws. I think it was yeah. Anyways, uh, I'm here for that. I'm here to see what he brings to the table, when he produces
Mhm.
that film. Um,
I think Michael B. Jordan's a good producer. I think he's got a good eye for
what else
good.
did he produce?
Didn't he produce? Did he produce Just Mercy?
Did it? I still need to see that.
Oh, bro, you not seen that film?
No, I haven't. That's a Bria Larson, isn't it?
That film was really, really, really good. I could be wrong that he might not have produced it, but I done it. He's done a few things
Did he?
for his
Was
production company.
oh yeah, that's a film with Jamie Foxx in it and Bria Larson.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Sad film. I cried actually at that film.
Oh,
Yeah, not gonna lie, I cried at that film. Yeah, sad film,
I know
sad film,
that
sad
came
film.
out to watch during the Black Lives Matters protest. So
Sorry.
I know that film came. I think Warner Brothers released that film for free during the Black Lives Matter protest. I think.
Oh yes, 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 yes. I remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. Yeah.
Wait, there was a Creed video game. I did not know that Creed Rise to Glory. I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm not even sure.
I just look at his producer credits and see what he's produced. So he's producing Creed 3, he's
Yeah, that
produced
makes sense.
61st Street, Matthew Seller, not heard of that. Without Remorse, David Makes Man. Uh,
Did he do Just Mercy?
no, I got Creed. Oh,
Okay.
he did. Yeah, he
I
did.
thought so. Yeah, I
Did
thought
produce
so.
Just Mercy.
Yeah,
Um,
he's got a good eye, man. He's got a good eye for projects.
yeah, well, yeah,
So
I'm here for that, man.
yeah,
I'm
he's a
here
good
for
he's a
that.
good producer. I like him a lot as well. So
The Obi-Wan Disney Plus series will start filming in March of
you know
2021.
what? That can't come soon enough. I'm a big, big fan of Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I was watching something the other day. I think I was just watching one of the films, and oh no, I was watching the behind the scenes of Phantom Menace,
Mm.
and I was just thinking, yo, I remember watching Phantom Menace when I was 11 in the cinema, and actually it was maybe my semi first because I had seen a few references at school. People were talking about it at school, like the older ones. I had a few experiences and a few brushes with Star Wars before then, but this was maybe my first sort of plunge into Star Wars, and I didn't understand what was going on in it, but I just thought everything looked so cool. So obviously, with that, Obi-Wan Kenobi, my first proper introduction to Obi-Wan Kenobi was with Ewan McGregor. So he, for me, man, is just everything about it. Him for me, man, is Obi-Wan Kenobi. He just embodies Obi-Wan Kenobi for me, man. Like when someone says Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's him I think of first before Alec McGuinness. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, I can't wait for that, man. I'm
Nah,
looking
I'm excited.
forward to it. And
I
if they
was
did such a good job of Mandalorian, man, who's
I can't
saying
wait for
what
Mandalorian. Oh my days, I cannot wait for that. I am so ready for that.
Yeah, man. What's
I
that? What's that next week? The week
Yeah, that's
after?
next week. Is that the wait, where's the 30th? I think that's next week. It's coming
Yeah,
up to the
Saturday,
30th.
Friday, Saturday
Oh, perfect timing.
next week.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. No, really, I think we should do like later on do the episode of just talking about these big kind of like universes that were made from these like directors and stuff like that. Because what George Lucas did with Star Wars, it's to
Yeah,
I'm so interested, to get a guy at the age he was to create the whole Star Wars universe. And obviously, some people like the film, some people don't like the films. But what you can't take from the man is that he actually created like such a rich universe that has so many
yeah,
characters. And like for me, he's created like a like I just get so interested in someone that's created a universe where there's so many stories that you can tell within this universe. And
yeah,
I think like that's someone that needs to be given their flowers because like you got Star Wars for like the older generation, the younger generation, like Star Wars Rebels and all that other stuff. But there's a story in every part of the Star Wars
100%.
galaxy. There's a story that has been told or needs to be told or is gonna be told. And I just think it's amazing. Like I literally, I just
Could
Yeah, I just think
couldn't agree more. I think yeah, despite regardless of what you think of him, because I think he's obviously made a lot of painful mistakes in the throughout his sort of film career, and especially with Star Wars.
Mhm.
Um, just the constant alterations and just sort of this need for perfectionism, which more often not just leads to some total missteps. But I would go so far as to say, just to echo what you're saying, is that he is essentially a J.R. Tolkien of Star Wars, because
A
they
thousand
both
percent.
have the ability to create these stories that people have come in and taken and adapted and made even bigger and expanded based off the original material. And that's, you can't do that with everything. If that was the case, you could do it with everything. There'll be thousands of universes similar to to these ones. So I think, yeah, he has shown that he has an ability to create universes that transcend time, decades, and it's just a great, interesting thing that we've all been a part of. I think. So yeah, what was I going to say as well? I was going to say fucking something. Oh yeah, sorry, that's it. Start from here. Good. I read a quote from Carrie Fisher who said, I think someone asked her, "Did you think Star Wars was going to be a hit?" And her answer was something along the lines of, "We all did. The only person who didn't think it was going to be a hit was George." And I think that's actually quite telling of like the the ambition. No, is that the right word? The the nature of his writing or creation of this universe. It just shows you that he had no idea that it was going to be big or was going to be expanded in such a way, but he had an original idea that has just taken a life of its own. I think that's what's important. I think that's an important takeaway. Yeah, he definitely planted those seeds, but I think time and the fandom gave it life and actually expanded it and grew it in a way that people would die for it. Do you know what I mean? So
It must be
yeah,
such a
man.
good feeling when like you have an idea in your head, a whole universe, and it makes sense to you, but then you're sitting there thinking like, I'm pretty sure it happens to a lot of people, especially in the creative industry or wherever actually, where you think this makes sense to me, but is it going to make sense to everybody else? And then obviously we have that kind of like imposter syndrome, and a lot of us we think, oh crap, like I'm fake. This is going to be shit. X, Y, and Z, whatever. Like this is not going to work. Whatever.
Yeah,
But then when people actually look at it and go, this is amazing, and then when you actually see what it does to people and stuff like that, how like you know seeing young kids, swinging their Jedi sabers and stuff like that, seeing even adults take on the film, as their own or whatever, it must be an amazing feeling to be like an idea that you wrote wherever you was in your head, how it touches people, how because Star Wars has transcended from just films, like it's going to different things like theme parks, books. It's really navigating
life.
people
Yeah,
life. It's navigated people through their life. I think it's even taught people like morals and values and stuff like that and all that kind of stuff. So to understand that an idea that you had that you know you intended it to be a film and stuff like that, but it transcended into something so much bigger to the point where it's taught people so many different stuff, people that they can reflect on their own personal life. It must be it's a great feeling. I think that guy deserves nothing but flowers because I just think stuff like that is amazing. When films
yeah,
transcend into something much bigger, that's when you just like you that must be a feeling that you must be on cloud nine, and if you're not, you really should be because like you just literally just help people navigate through life all the way down to actors, fans. When I went to Disney's Galaxy Edge in Florida, seeing the people just rushing to Star Wars and smiling and doing all that, doing all that so-called nerdy stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I
Mm,
thought, oh, this is really cool. This is amazing.
mm,
And at my big age, whatever, I'm like, I love this. This is amazing. So, nah, man, George Lucas, man, deserve his flowers all the way.
100%.
Uh, oh, did you watch?
Wait, so this was the one with Jamie Lee Curtis. It's back, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah, yeah.
back in it. Bro, I didn't mind it, man. I enjoyed it, to be honest.
I thought it was right.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I watched it in the cinema, and I just remember thinking, yeah, it's a Halloween film. I mean, it's good that it kind of cut out all of that nonsense. In between, I think it kind of was just like a direct sequel to the first one. I think when a film does that and does it properly, it's a nice feeling. So that's why I think I've got fond memories of that film. I think when you've had like the Terminator do that and it's not worked, and it's just like, oh, here we go again. It's kind of just the same sort of run of the mill stuff we've seen in the previous years. It can kind of get a bit tedious. But yeah, it was quite refreshing to have a good, just an enjoyable film. I mean, I don't think it was groundbreaking, but it was enjoyable, and I think that's quite
Yeah, I
important.
liked
So,
it. The next one's come out next year, Halloween Kills.
and that's a sort of sequel to what came before, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I really want to find the quote that
Nice.
the guy from, I think it's Bloomhouse, said or whatever about it being released.
Okay. It's
He's,
on. It's on. It's on. I think it's on Netflix. I might give it another watch. I might watch it tonight, maybe.
yeah, yeah, he's on Netflix. Yeah. Okay, so this is what the guy said. When asked if the film will move to 2022, Bloom said this: "No, if this is still going on next Halloween, no, we're not holding it. Halloween Kill is coming out next October. Come hell or high water, vaccine or no vaccine, it is coming out."
Rah,
That
rah,
man,
rah. That's mad. That's mad. That's mad. That's
he's
mad.
on a
See, I
mission.
rate that. I rate that. I rate that. I rate that. I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe it's a bit difficult to do that now, and I think it would have been great, obviously, to have No Time to Die come out when it should have come out. I mean, back in April, to be honest. But even then, like November, um, it would have been nice. Maybe they should have just had that same attitude. Like, look, let's put the films out. People can choose. It should be down to cinemas to make places COVID friendly, make it safe for everybody so they can enjoy films, man. Because at the end of the day, we want to enjoy our lives. So yeah, bring the films out. So I understand the sentiments. Um, so yeah, bring it on.
I will say that if this is carrying on next year, as much as I'd want to see Halloween, I'm staying indoors. I'll wait.
I I I reckon it will. This is my prediction. I think this thing will still be going on for a while. I think next year, this time next year, it'll still be happening. Maybe not at the same degree as we're experiencing now, but I think we will. I think we'll still be in it, to be honest. But it'll still be lingering around. But yeah, man. Cinemas are still open. Odeon is still open, and um, View is still open.
Really?
They're still open, bro.
Oh,
That's closed.
it feels so weird.
So,
It feels so weird because like every week, yeah, I'm always thinking about, oh yes, like before, I was thinking, oh yeah, what film I'm going to see in the cinema. Now it's like I don't even think about cinema like that or whatever. Like when I
yeah.
last went cinemas, it was like I got that feeling like, oh my god, the cinemas. Like I ain't seen you like forever. Like it's mad.
So for me, I felt like that at the start of the year. So when they first closed cinemas, and this was like everywhere, yeah, they closed cinemas. That is when I was feeling like that. I was like, bro, I go to cinema literally every week. We've got no cinemas, yeah. And then when they reopened, I was like, oh, thank God, man. I've missed this. Now I'm kind of just like a little bit, well, it's happened once before, so we're just in it again. I'm just kind of not as what's the word, as displaced or discombobulated as the first time. But yeah, man, it's now that the cinema's open, like Odeon's open. I might go. I might go see Tenet. I might go see Tenet tomorrow.
Oh, Twilight Tenant. Because we know this Tenant from Warner Brothers grossed $1.6 million domestically for a North American total of $50.6 million and a worldwide tally of $333.9 million. The film saw a huge boost from Seattle reopenings. 5 of the top 10 grossing theaters were in the Seattle area. I'm gonna see. I think next episode I'll find out what it did over here, and yeah, that's what I was interested in.
I think it did well. I think it did. No, I think it obviously did well with the numbers at face value. But I think in terms of the studios, they might have been expecting maybe a bit more. But yeah, it did well, and I reckon. I mean, Tenant for with Nolan's recent films, is quite a divisive film anyway. So it would have been interesting to see how it would have done if this wasn't going on. I can imagine it probably would have done a little bit better. But yeah, with the sort of like split down the middle, it would have been interesting to see what it would have done, sort of just un uncontaminated, if you like. So but yeah, I mean, I've got to say, I've seen the film now. I've seen the film twice or three times. I think I've seen it twice, and like I said, I might see it again tomorrow, man. I'll fuck with that film, bro.
That feels good, man. I really want to. There's a book on Amazon that I really want to get that explains Christopher Nolan's like behind the scenes process of making that film. Like,
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I really want to get that book and just dissect it.
That'd be interesting.
American Film Institute partners with AMC to establish Black Production Fund for thesis filmmakers. Grants will be provided to Black students in their second year of education at the non-profit conservatory. I think that's good.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's good. I think
I don't know what to say to that. I think that's amazing.
We need more investment in alternative stories. I think there's a lot, just by its nature, film and the arts can have a sort of one voice, and we can enjoy those voices. But
and I want to add to that we can't wait for studios to tell our stories, because they're just going to tell the narrative that they want to portray of us, whatever. We need to go out there and make films that we know that we want to see. So, they're not going to give us the voice or whatever to be like, oh yeah, shine us in a different way instead of just one way. We need to be going out there and having more Ryan Coogler's, having more Michael B. Jordan's, having more, there's so many different directors that look like us, telling stories that we know that we want to see and stuff like that. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, because my mum listened to the podcast. She just
she
messaged me this morning, and she said it was really nice. She said, let me get it up. She said, "Hi, son. It was very good. Loved the conversation, and listened to the end." So I thought that was really nice.
Nice. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, thanks.
She was like, do some more. Listen to me. Do some more headlines. 50 Cent disowns his son. Dr. Dre marriage. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, this ain't this type of podcast. But I was like, you know what? Yeah, like just for my mum. Next issue, we'll touch on that. But it's just nice,
Yeah, we'll shout her out.
Yeah, I feel like that was a nice touch to know when I listen to it, because
that was nice. That's nice.
But my mom and dad, they said that it's good, because it's good to be doing something like this, just doing like in your free time, just doing something like this, whatever. So
important. It's so important. It kind of just, you kind of need something to break everything up a little bit. And we obviously just don't stick with films. We kind of just sort of delve into some sort of the social stuff that's going on as well. So and that helps. And that's a therapy of sorts. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, we should keep it up.
100%. So yeah, that's it for another issue of Two Mates on a Podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Please listen to us next week, where we'll be talking more. Lord knows what we'll be talking about. But yeah, hope you enjoy the ride and carry on listening.